Number five, and I hear this a lot, and I remember when I first started out being nervous, but it is avoiding networking because of imposter syndrome. Who has had that? I remember turning up to a couple of my very first networking meetings. I was pretty nervous, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to throw myself in. And yeah, it was fine. Everyone is so lovely and friendly. And that I found is that I found my tribe in the property world. All these property professionals, obviously, there are going to be some people that you perhaps don't gel with as much, but people are so generous. We're all, in theory, competing against each other. It might be the same area, it might be the same strategy, but everyone is so supportive. In fact, I was at a networking event this week, and there were two very big local property investors who also run letting agents and estate agents. And it was a big joke about, which one was going to buy the other one's agency. But they were there completely supporting each other. They were giving advice, and it is absolutely amazing. So, this kind of imposter syndrome, quite often there'll be another part of your life, won't there, that is you're really confident, you can smash it. Even if you don't know everything, you just walk in and you're absolutely fine. But for some reason, when you're going into this property space, we think that everyone else has amazing deals, everyone else doesn't have problems, everyone else is completely on top of what they're doing. But that is just not true. And I did have a mentee who went all the way to London and was really excited, and then got outside the door and literally froze and could not walk in. Okay. And luckily she went and and she actually wrote about it. She journaled about it, and we talked through it afterwards. But these things can really happen, and they can be very debilitating. So, really focus on the value. I mean, some people walk in and imagine everyone naked. It's not what I do. But you must think about, well, what is it? And remember, what do most people love? What is their number one thing? And that is themselves. So, ask them questions about themselves and listen. And you will be amazed how people really gel to you when you are really, really interested in them. So, networking, please do not feel like you are an imposter. It is really key to get out there. There are so many relationships that you can make. So, next up in our seven property investor mistakes that are holding you back and how to fix them with the right mindset is number six, getting emotionally attached to that deal. We've all done it, haven't we? It's like we know that it must be due diligence, analysis, and be very clear. But with that, I think we can be a little bit attached. So, for instance, I have an area near me where it's all 1960s properties, and they're just boring. I don't like it. I walk around the area and I have no inspiration. Whereas there are other areas that are much older, lots and lots of stunning Victorian buildings that quite often have been poorly converted and need some TLC. That is lovely. I enjoy doing that, but I'm still very matter of fact, very heavy on the due diligence and understanding. I don't look at it and go, oh my gosh, I love this building and I want to keep it forever. So that's where we do. We've got to remember, and especially when you're starting out in property, you are not going to live there. And just because you love it doesn't mean that, say, your tenant or your serviced accommodation person or your supported living provider will want that type of property. So it's ensuring that it's not about you and how you feel about the property. Obviously, you've got to care about your business and your deal, but remember, you are providing a product, you are providing a property for people to utilize. So I'm sorry to say it's nothing to do with you. So never ever, for instance, an example would be going to an auction and thinking, I love that property, that's the one. You've confirmed that you're not going to pay, let's say, over £100,000, and suddenly it's going crazy and everyone is spending all that money and you love that property. You had already converted it, you'd already done this, that, and the other. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, you must have a very calm understanding of where you're at with that deal, and make sure that you can achieve the correct return on investment for that. So really create this kind of non-negotiable checklist for every deal. And if that property does not meet your criteria, walk away. Literally walk away. There is always another opportunity. And in fact, a mentee of mine was saying, oh, there's this amazing hotel up the road and I love it. And that I've chatted to the vendors and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't what they were doing at that moment. They needed cash flow now. They wanted to do property deal sourcing. So, as I said, it could take you 18 months before that brings you money in. So we've got to think very clearly about what our criteria is. If you need to make money now, there's no point going for this beautiful building, this hotel that in the future will make you money. You've got to keep and stick to what you're doing now. So do not get emotionally involved. So, the final one of the 7 property investor mistakes holding you back and how to fix them with the right mindset is failing to invest in your growth. So, this was a frightening one for me. We've probably all done it. If you've been to any of the kind of free or sort of low priced entry training that you can get. So it might be that you have a free hour webinar, or you might pay, £50 to attend a morning or £100 to attend a weekend. Whatever it is, you go in. And it's been quite a big thing, hasn't it, to pay out some money on people that you don't know to get some information about property investing. And then the next thing you know, you are blown away. Amazing information. And you're thinking, absolutely, this is for me. And then suddenly this huge price tag comes along and you are blown away. You've never spent, you may have spent that on a house, but you've never spent it on yourself. And this is really good. So you think I can go away, I can have my free resources. I'm going to watch YouTube. I'm going to read books. I'm going to go networking. I don't need to have somebody who can help me, perhaps a mentor, perhaps somebody to learn from. And that's great. You absolutely can learn. And part of growth and part of investing in yourself is obviously books and all of those YouTube resources. But I would highly recommend a mentor of some kind. And of course, you can have differing prices, but free, you usually get, not particularly good, free advice is exactly that. You're not necessarily going to get something great from it. So really start thinking about, well, what can I get back as my investment? So exactly the same as me. Every time I've come to a new investment, it's been a massive stretch. And why do we do that? Why do we have to stretch ourselves by paying that amount? Because how many times have we been given something for free and then not used it? So having that actual physical financial investment in something makes us go, my goodness, I've spent all this money. I've absolutely got to utilize this. I've absolutely got to move forward and not waste that money. And again, it comes back to your why and lots of things. So do really consider, if you want to get to your goals in a decent time, and I'm not talking like 5-10 years, that's just a pipe dream. That is not a goal. If you want to get to your goal within the next year, I'd highly recommend you get some help and support. And obviously there's so many people out there. So again, make sure you really commit to this lifelong learning, whether it's strategies, whether it's mindset, all of these kind of things have been absolutely revolutionary. So for me, my couple of biggest books were sort of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And that was enabled me. So I've created a course called the Property Mindset Formula. And that has really been revolutionary in changing who I am and my ability to get success. Fantastic. So today we explored the 7 property investor mistakes that are holding you back and how to fix them with the right mindset. So remember, property success isn't just about what you do. It really is about how you think. So when you combine a strong strategy with an unstoppable mindset, there's literally no limit to what you can achieve. So please, guys, reflect on today's episode and consider at least one action that you are going to take away this week and really work on. So don't just think I'm going to do that. Write it down, start working on it so that you can move closer to your property goal. So if you know someone who is struggling on their property journey, please share this episode. It could be the game changer that they need. And remember, the more people that we help, the actual greater our wealth in every sense of the word will be. So growing this community means growing the potential that we all have to succeed together. So remember, guys, your mindset is your greatest property. Keep building it.